No intros or wasted time. Let's dive into talking about new makeup releases from mainstream to indie. There's a lot going on right now, and I think that I can add the perspective from somebody who has a medium to deep skin tone. All of the information and images that I have came from Trend Mood and from Makeup on Your Radar, so I'm going to link them in my description box below just for reference. Starting off with Fenty, we just had two new Gloss Bomb releases. These were in the Universal Gloss Bomb Luminizer formula. I did pick up both of them. They are in the shades Rose Amber and in Gimme Space. I think they're beautiful fall tone shades. I don't know why they're not more universally available. As far as I know, they're available on the Fenty website and on the Ulta Beauty website. I think one of the two of them is available. I think that's Rose Amber is available on Sephora. I think Fenty has been coming out with some great releases this year. I know that people are all over the place with how they feel about Fenty this year. I personally love the more recent releases because I am somebody who really loves sparkle. So getting a bunch of sparkly glosses, getting sparkly eyeshadows that really did pack a punch, getting some new diamond bombs. I think that all of these are really a lot of fun. And I did try both of those glosses in a recent video, so I'm gonna go ahead and link it because I tried them on. I think they are stunning. I definitely prefer the original Gloss Bomb formula to anything they've come out with, even like in the past year. The Gloss Bomb sticks are pretty. I just tend to prefer the original glosses, and same with the oils. I feel like they're a little bit slippy on me personally. If you've tried all of these different formulas, let me know which is your favorite. But we just got a sneak peek as well for a new holiday set, or series of sets actually, that should be launching pretty soon. Some of these are definitely appealing to me. I know that I've had some questions about the Grape Splash Gloss Bomb that is coming back. It looks like it's coming back in a kit with a lip liner. So if you did want to get that individually, it looks like it will be with a lip liner. You also have one that has, it looks like hot chocolate with a gloss bomb, or just kind of a lip oil that's from the Fenty Skin line. The one that's super exciting to me is the one that has the different swirls. It's got stacks of 3 different shades, so it's got 2 in there, 2 glosses, and then it has Fenty Glow, which is an older shade. And then you get some Gloss Bomb sets, like a big vault. So if you're a collector, that could be of good value. I have some of those shades, and I honestly don't love all of the formulas, so that isn't for me. And then they do have a kit that's coming out with one of the diamond bombs, the original How Many Carats, as well as a mascara and one of the Gloss Bomb sticks. Okay, and NYX recently came out with a collaboration with Bridgerton. This is brand new. So I also did a review video on that launch. I think it's pretty darn good. There's definitely some really pretty highlighters. The blush palettes are not new, they're older shades, but it could be a really good value if you haven't tried the blushes or you don't have those blushes, so you definitely get a better price point for them. So I actually think that that was a really well done, well curated collection. The only thing is that the timing of the launch didn't quite make sense because Bridgerton is not having a new season right now, so I just feel like timing wise it was a little bit random. However, we have also seen a sneak peek for their holiday release. And honestly, I remember not really being that into their holiday release last year. I felt a little bit the same this year too. I felt like they kind of went bigger and better for Halloween than they did for Christmas or the holidays. And I felt the same this year. We had the Wednesday. I thought it was good, but not quite as good as last year's. That was Beetlejuice. This year for the holiday launch, it looks like we have an eyeshadow palette that is called Let's Slay. It's sort of bulky packaging and it's very neutral leaning. I don't see any shades in here that really stand out to me. There's one deep shade, but the rest are sort of lighter and mid-tone mattes. There's some lip kits. Again, those could be a good value if you like those lip products like the fat oils. I personally sort of feel like if you don't need all of the fat oil shades. Like a lot of them look very similar on the lips. And then, yeah, they have a butter gloss kit. So they have some really pretty shades in there. A lot of them are more of your pinks and your browns, so not some of the more exciting shades. But again, if you like the formula or if you've been curious about it, it could be a good value. Again, sort of bulky packaging, but yeah, I sort of felt similar in terms of it not being as exciting as their Halloween launch. Okay, next we have a new launch from Isamaya. This, honestly, I feel like for the makeup lovers has been pretty anticipated. We have the return of the Industrial palettes, and not just Industrial 1, which was actually still in stock, didn't go anywhere, but also Industrial 2, which I feel like is, you know, has become somewhat of an iconic palette. A lot of makeup artists and just makeup lovers, people who like shimmers and colorful eyeshadow, really enjoy this palette. And it was one that I definitely held off on getting. And then once it went out of stock and I saw how many people were creating such stunning looks with it, had serious FOMO. So that is Industrial 2. And I did pick it up when it came back. It's just up on the website now. I don't think it's come to Sephora yet. There's honestly been some mixed feelings about these palettes. One is, you know, they're not new. They are newly reformulated. I think the packaging is definitely throwing some people off. Some people love it, some people don't love it. It's shaped like kidney beans. It's slimmer. It's meant to kind of fit more in your makeup bag, to be maybe a little more aesthetic, or just a different aesthetic. But you'll have to let me know what you think in the comments. I personally didn't want to let it slip away this time, so I picked it up. I really want to review it, and I'm very hopeful because I saw a few reviews on it in the past, and everyone that picked it up, I think, generally was overall satisfied and happy that they had it. Next launch that we have just came out from Natasha Denona. This is the Eye Sculpt Palettes larger. I believe that she had a mini Eye Sculpt palette that came out before that was kind of smaller, maybe like 5-6 pans. These are larger palettes. I believe they're around $80 or so. And, you know, I actually asked y'all on on my posts whether you were interested in me reviewing the dramatic. I mean, they're pretty pricey, so I definitely wasn't gonna pick up both. But the response was pretty split, and that was enough for me to say I didn't want to review them. I think that, you know, listen, it's gonna do really well because so many people love neutral palettes. I have to say that from, you know, the perspective of an eyeshadow lover, I definitely miss a couple of years ago when I felt like Natasha Denona was coming out with more interesting color stories. Especially in the midi size, I feel like we've departed a little bit from more colorful eyeshadow palettes. So that's been something that's kind of held me back from trying them in some recent years. And then, of course, you know, I would be remiss not to mention that I know there's been a little bit of controversy politically with Natasha Denona as well, and that always holds me back from wanting to review as well. But let me know in the comments, did you pick either of the palettes up? Is it something that's interesting to you? How do you feel about some of the more recent Natasha Denona releases? And have you tried anything from Natasha Denona recently that has impressed you? Next, I want to talk about these blushes that just launched from Ciele. I think this is a brand new formula, and I don't know if Ciele is new to Sephora or if just them doing makeup is new, but they came out with some powder blushes probably about a month ago, and there's, I want to say 7 shades. I actually swatched the deepest shade in store at Sephora, and I thought it was a really pretty shade. And not gonna lie, since trying this formula, I have not been able to put it down. I haven't talked about it in a previous video, but I think if you have a medium deep complexion and you are interested in trying a new formula, this is definitely a formula that is very user-friendly. And typically I don't gravitate toward, you know, that many powder blushes. So I think this one definitely drew me in. Something I just want to say though is that a lot of these shades are on the lighter side. I think it's great that, you know, we do have a shade that works on me. I just don't think that this shade range is deep enough. I think it needs at least 2 or 3 more deeper shades to really be a cohesive, inclusive shade range. So just from my perspective, I think that is something that is sort of lacking from this release, but it's a beautiful formula and I'm excited to see what they do in the future. Okay, next we have another new launch, new brand and new launch to Sephora, and new line in general. This is a makeup artist called, his name is Vanno, and these are definitely intriguing, especially because you get some colorful eyeshadow. You have, I believe you have at least 6 different kind of capsule 8-pan color stories. Well, these are really monochromatic palettes, but you have some very colorful shades. You have a really bright green version, a bright blue version, and a bright purple version, a red and orange, and a couple of neutral palettes. So that's definitely really exciting. That is something that I think I will like to try sometime down the line, although I may wait for a sale because I know there's a lot of sales that are going to be around the corner. But let me know what you think of that release in the comments. They also are coming out with some lipsticks, I believe, as well, maybe some other products, but the ones that really drew me in were, of course, the eyeshadows, especially the colorful eyeshadows. Beauty Creations just came out with a new Goosebumps collaboration. I've mentioned Beauty Creations on my channel a few times before, and I'm actually going to be working on an affordable eyeshadow video in the near future. I think Beauty Creations is definitely an underrated brand. I know that a lot of you have told me that you've seen them in discount stores like TJ Maxx, but they have a lot of hits and a lot of really great formulas. So don't sleep on them. I'm definitely excited about this Goosebumps collaboration. I think it's actually available now. It does include an eyeshadow palette, a bunch of interesting lip products. Of course, one has to be pH adjusting, which I don't love, but it does look cute. And you have a really cute makeup bag, a cute mirror, some other cool stuff in there. So yeah, I think I am gonna pick up this a few pieces from the collection. I may do a dedicated video as well, just because they are definitely a brand that I really appreciate the price points. I don't know how they manage to have some of the products at the price points that they do. But this color story does look like it's fun. It definitely looks very Halloween as well. Perfect for spooky season. So yeah. Next we have a launch from Wet n Wild. I think this may be available in some places already. I saw this on Trendmood. I don't know exactly what all includes, but I know that it is themed around different Disney villains and that there are some colorful eyeshadow palettes in there, which I love. There's some lip products, some blushes. I think the theming is a lot of fun, and I love to see an affordable brand like Wet n Wild doing really fun releases. They've had a lot of hits this year, at least for me. My favorite was their Chrome Chameleon release that came out in the spring. but I'm definitely very excited to try that and to see what else they'll do for the holidays. Next, we have something that's been sneak peeked on Trend Mood. This is from Nars. They're actually coming out with a holiday collaboration with an artist, Iris Van Herpen, and the packaging looks really cool. I do have some thoughts on this collection, again, from the perspective of someone who has a medium deep skin tone. I think, you know, I'm a little bit bummed about the shade range here. I think the blush palettes make sense, like they have 2. I think they probably should be at the point where they have 3, to be honest. Their eyeshadow palette is definitely a little bit disappointing. I feel like the shades in there are, none of them have any depth. They're all kind of light pale and ashy. So a little bit sad about that because, you know, I used to really love Nars eyeshadow palettes, and I just feel like recently there hasn't really been much by way of interesting Nars eyeshadow palettes, and now I feel like this release is more interesting, but it's not inclusive enough. So that's my thought on that. I have really been rooting for Nars, and I am not sure. I may try the blush palette, but really in the rest of the collection, I feel like besides maybe a highlighter, which may be a little bit too icy on me, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that there's a lot here that would work for me personally. Next, I am going to talk about the Flower Nose collection. I am going to kind of have a little bit more of a harsh angle when it comes to Flower Nose because honestly, I see so many people reviewing them, and you know, I think that they have, you know, they have beautiful products. But I feel like at this point, and I know they're a Chinese makeup brand, I love Chinese makeup. I talk about them all the time on my channels, but I feel like at this point, they really have been marketing towards a more kind of wider global audience. I just don't think that their shades are deep enough in a lot of their products. And I feel like it's time at this point. I feel like a lot of the blushes, the eyeshadow palettes, they do have some eyeshadow palettes that definitely do work for a wide skin tone range. But in general, I feel like a lot of the products are too light to work for a wide skin tone range. And anyway, yeah, that's been my thought. It's been part of what's held me back from wanting to review them more. I am really kind of waiting for them to expand that range, especially now that they're targeting a more global audience. So you let me know again what you think about some of the more recent Flower Nose releases, if you agree with my take on the shade range, and yeah, and what you think about this collection in particular. KJH brand is owned by Katie Jane Hughes. It's named after Katie Jane Hughes, who is a makeup artist, and she created a brand a couple of years ago. That's when they first had their first release with cream highlighters. I absolutely adore the products from this brand, and you know, the releases have been pretty spread out because, you know, they've spent a lot of time and energy in product development, but they've come out with cream highlighters, cream blushes. I've tried all of the cream highlighter shades. I think there's 4, and at least like 3 or 4 of the cream blushes, but they are coming out with contour sticks, but these are kind of almost like in a pencil applicator, so for a very precise application. And I definitely am intrigued. I'm not somebody who does a whole lot of contouring, but I am definitely gonna watch Katie's video, learn from her videos, and I'm probably gonna end up picking up at least like 1 shade from this launch. I'm very intrigued about everything that comes out from KJH brand. Okay, let's move over and talk about some of the indie makeup releases, starting off with Lethal Cosmetics. This is super exciting. They are doing a collaboration with the Conjuring, and they have actually revealed their eyeshadow palette today. which is definitely like dark and moody kind of blue tones, all cool tones. It's 12 pans, looks super, you know, super pretty. And there are a bunch of other products in this collection, so I'm definitely very intrigued about what all this will look like. I feel like Lethal Cosmetics is really having an exciting year. They did such a good job with their Dexter collection, and then they did Adventure Time. I think my favorite so far has been the Dexter collection. I did like Adventure Time, but I liked the moodiness of the Dexter collection. So very excited to see what that will look like. I think I'll be receiving it, so if I do, I'll have a dedicated video on that. But you know, of course, everything has been pretty crazy with international shipping. So that's been a huge issue for everyone, whether you are a content creator or you know, trying to buy internationally. It's all just been a huge mess. So I think they actually have a US distributor now. So at least if you are a US based customer, that should be smoother moving forward now. So let me know what you think of that collection in the comments and if you're excited for it. Next, we have a palette from Simply Posh Cosmetics. Honestly, this is the most beautiful palette that I have seen from Simply Posh. I can't speak to the formula. It's called Black Cherry, but I think that this color story is really pretty. And I'm speaking from the perspective of somebody who feels like Simply Posh has a lot of interesting palettes to me, but also a lot of misses. Just for me personally, I think the layout of their palettes are appreciated by a lot of people, myself included, in terms of they have a row of lighter mattes on top, a row of shimmers, and then a row of deeper mattes. But some of the color stories, I just feel like I'm not as sure what to do with them. And their more recent palette that came out, I felt like was too similar to the palette that came before, just in my own personal opinion. But I think this Black Cherry palette is so beautiful. It's a unique color story, and I'm really excited for it. All right, we have a palette sneak peek from Bella Beauty Bar. We have nothing other than just the fact that there's going to be a palette and a little bit having to do with the packaging. But beyond that, we don't know how many pans are going to be in the palette or anything like that. I will say I'm really excited because I do feel like, in terms of my favorite palettes from Bella Beauty Bar, they're definitely the ones that are a little bit deeper and moodier. I feel like they definitely nail those tones. The fall vibes, the deeper kind of moodier vibes, the cool tone vibes, those are my favorite from the brand. But it's also because those are the things that I gravitate toward. I just also think that they do them very well. So intrigued to see what that palette will look like. Okay, we also have a sneak peek from Blend Bunny. There was a logo change 2 days ago, I believe, which means that there's a new release coming. And then today we got this kind of video of decaying fruit. So definitely very intrigued to see what this is and if it's going to be a collaboration. I have a feeling it will be a collaboration. Yeah, I've really been enjoying some of the releases that have come out from Blend Bunny this year. I personally, it's taken me a while to receive them. So in terms of, you know, making videos and stuff like that, it's kind of past the point where I feel like people are interested. However, if you still want to see a video with the more recent Ellis and Blend Bunny, definitely let me know. Okay, next we have a release that just came out with Laced with Cherry. They are a small indie brand, and they just did a licensed collaboration with Gloomy Bear. Super cute collection, all of the details so well thought out. I actually did some swatches for the brand but it includes an eyeshadow palette, a sparkly gloss, a lip stain, a wet liner palette. Definitely everything is very cute in terms of the packaging. Even the box that it comes in has all of the Gloomy Bear designs on it. So if you're a fan of Gloomy Bear or just really like cute makeup products, I definitely recommend checking them out. And the owner runs her Instagram page and her TikTok, and she does tons of inspo. So if you're looking for different inspo for how to use the products, definitely make sure to check her out. And I had a couple of Chinese makeup releases I wanted to talk about. One of them is from Freya and Cherry. If you're not following Freya, I definitely recommend it. I'm gonna put her handle up on the screen, and just actually gonna show you the palette because I have it here, and it's what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. But such a fun color story. You get some of the kind of dark, moody tones and some of the lighter tones. The inspo for this dark core palette is Y3K energy, so absolutely love that. And yeah, I have not been disappointed with this at all. And there was actually one other palette that came out with this, so I'll put that on the screen, but I believe that one was not in collaboration with Freya, but also a really pretty palette. I think that if you have medium to deeper skin tones, this one is gonna work better for you, in my opinion. Sheen Effect is coming out with 5 new shades, or they just came out with 5 new shades. Those are also available on Look Healthy store. I have talked about Sheen Effect on my page as well. I absolutely love their multi-chromes. They have all kinds of shadows that work really well, even as highlighters, as blinding highlighters. They have a lot of iridescent shades, and I'm definitely really excited for these shades. So I have contemplated doing a Sheen Effect video, a dedicated Sheen Effect video, so if you're interested, definitely let me know. Okay, I think at this point I've been talking for quite a while, but I could continue to talk about new makeup releases for even longer. I'm gonna cut myself off here. If you like this style of video and you like hearing me talk about makeup releases, let me know. If it's not your jam, let me know. And if you'd like to see this type of video more often, also let me know. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. I had a lot of fun doing it, and yeah, I think I will incorporate these videos from time to time into my content. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.